Okay, I'm here to do a short and sweet video on the H2S Analyzer by AMI. It's very simple to use. There's an on and off button, you can see there. When you have this on, you take your hose, insert it in the back, make that till it clicks, and this part is going to go from wherever your gas analysis is coming from. The way I run mine with an inline. This is going to my gas sampling line. This one runs to my analyzer, and then I open and close it with the needle valve. This analyzer model is good from 0 to 200 parts per million. And the working pressure is a half of a pound to 150 pounds PSI. Anything over 150 PSI, you're going to have to find a way to knock it down. Pretty simple to use. When you turn it on, you send gas through it, there's a little mercury bubble down here, and this flow control that you see right here, you turn this until you get your mercury bouncing in between 2 and 1.6, somewhere in that area. That means you have a positive flow going through the machine. Then you leave it run, and the machine will give you an H2S reading. It's very, very simple. To calibrate this machine, when you have a known standard, you turn this on, you run your known standard through it for 15 minutes. At the end of the 15 minutes, if the number on the screen doesn't match your calibration gas, you hit span and you push up or down until that number becomes what your known standard is. And then you let the gas run through it again, turn it off, turn it back on, and run the gas through it again for another 15 minutes. And that number should come right to where you just calibrated it to. It's very, very simple to use. There is a USB port in the back. You could essentially plug it in if you have the software. You could plug it into your computer. It's DC, AC, DC plug. Plug that right into the wall to charge it. This little sample outlet is actually where your gas is going to be coming out of the machine. And so if you're working in an environment, in a closed environment, we have this little hose that we can hook up to the back of the machine like so, and you can hook this end to a braided Ralston line or something and vent it outside of the building where you're working, so you don't have to be working under an H2S gas environment. That's pretty much it. It's a very simple machine to use. Once it's calibrated, the sensor inside of here, if you ever needed to change the sensor, it's right behind this little piece of metal. The sensor has a year's worth of life. When you turn this on and you hit span, where is it? Anyways, when it's on, running, and you have gas going through it, there it is, 457. That number will keep going up, and once it gets to about 800 is when you should start thinking about changing the sensor. It starts out at 0 and it works its way up to 800. That is pretty much it. Very accurate, from 1 part per million to 200 parts per million on this machine, and that's really all there is to it.